In a surprising twist, Sean Strickland's sparring partner might end up facing him at UFC 312. Caio Borralho revealed that he flew to Australia yesterday, specifically to help his teammate Sean Strickland prepare for his title fight. However, he also acknowledged that if something were to happen to either Strickland or DDP, he would absolutely accept the UFC's offer to step in. Despite not being the official backup fighter for the main event, Borralho made it clear that he wouldn't hesitate to take the opportunity, even if it meant fighting Strickland, the person he's been training with. Borralho also spoke highly of Strickland, describing him as a genuinely nice guy. He clarified that his main reason for being in Australia wasn't just to help Strickland, but also to corner another teammate. As for sparring with Strickland, Borralho mentioned that while they don't plan on having hard sparring sessions, Sean's pressure-based style always turns them into intense rounds. See, the relentless nature of Strickland's approach means the sparring inevitably becomes more challenging than anticipated.
He's a very nice guy and a very true guy, very real guy, you know. We linked up before my debut in the UFC, and I went there several times. So we've been training together for so long. Every time that I go in Vegas, we do a lot of great rounds, a lot of death match, as he likes to say. And but actually today was a grappling day, and we did some grappling rounds. And of course, I'm here helping him. And tomorrow we're gonna do a sparring session, like a 5-round sparring session. For sure, we're not gonna be doing any crazy thing, you know, anything like, but we're gonna spar, you know. And you know how it works when we train and spar with Strickland, you know. He always likes to come forward and, you know, pick you apart. So I think it'll be fun tomorrow. But right away to all my interviews and all that are gonna be ready, you know, on weight and all this, to if something happens.
Sean Strickland breaks his silence on Israel Adesanya's KO loss at UFC Saudi Arabia, with Izzy's shocking knockout loss coming just a week before the middleweight title fight at UFC 312. It was only a matter of time before Strickland was asked about his former rival's 3rd consecutive defeat. Speaking to Fox Sports Australia, Strickland didn't hold back, but also showed respect for Adesanya's legacy. Quote, "I mean, at the end of the day, dude, Izzy has already made his legacy. If you want to continue to fight, then continue to fight, but you've done what you've already done. You don't really gotta prove anything, man. You're a lasting name in the sport, like you've chiseled your name into it." End quote. Strickland, who has had his fair share of losses in the UFC, made it clear that there's no shame in Izzy losing to a younger generation of fighters, something that Nassourdine Imavov now firmly represents. Quote, "No shame, you're getting older and it happens, you know." End quote. A clip of these remarks quickly made its way across social media, with most fans agreeing with Strickland's take. With 3 losses in a row and no clear path forward, Adesanya's future remains uncertain. Talks of a potential move to light heavyweight or even retirement have been circulating. Whether he decides to chase another title or step away from the sport, one thing is certain: his name is already etched in MMA history. Dricus du Plessis opened up about Khamzat Chimaev, revealing that he had originally set his sights on Khamzat for his next fight, especially after his dominant victory over Robert Whittaker. DDP expressed admiration for Chimaev, saying that his performance against Whittaker was more impressive than Strickland's win over Costa, which had initially led him to believe the Chechen would be next in line. However, once the rematch with Strickland was confirmed, du Plessis' focus shifted entirely to the former champion. Despite the change in plans, Dricus emphasized that his fight with Khamzat is still on the horizon, and he is fully prepared to take on the undefeated fighter after his 2nd title defense. He acknowledged Khamzat's skills and described him as incredible, but made it clear that anyone in the top 5 of the division is a dangerous challenge. He also pointed out that Khamzat's battles with Usman and Burns were close, reinforcing the competitiveness of top UFC fighters. While Khamzat remains a future target, du Plessis is determined to first focus on Strickland, but his eventual showdown with Chimaev is inevitable.
Yeah, I think Khamzat's an incredible fighter, but you know, you're fighting in the top 5 of the UFC. Everybody's incredible fighters, and you know, he has this one thing that works for him, and it's been good. But you know, Khamzat is an absolute animal, absolutely. But I mean, you look at the Gilbert Burns fight, which you could have scored either way. You look at the Kamaru Usman fight, and you go, yeah, he did beat Robert Whittaker, but obviously his teeth broke back. It's unfortunate. He is really good. So, you know, deserving of a title shot 100% after that performance. You know, if you look at the Strickland's last performance versus Paulo Costa, and then you look at Khamzat's last performance versus Robert Whittaker. That's it, no brainer that Khamzat gets the title fight. And I had my own selfish reasons. I was more excited to fight a Khamzat. But I don't mind the Strickland fight either. And let's put that to bed. Khamzat fight is going to be there right after this.
Fight week for UFC 312 is in full swing, and while Ilia Topuria and Alexander Volkanovski aren't competing, they've still found themselves in the spotlight. Both are in Australia to corner their teammates. El Matador is there for his brother Alexandra, while Volk is cornering his teammate Thick Knees. But even outside the octagon, the tension between them is ramping up. In an interview with Main Event, Ilia was asked about a potential rematch with Volk, and he didn't hold back. He confidently stated that the outcome would be the same, but this time he'd submit Volk instead of knocking him out, just for fun. Fans saw this as blatant disrespect, and so did Volkanovski. Later that same day, Volk had his own interview with Main Event and fired back. He revealed that the UFC is trying to book the rematch, but Topuria is making things difficult in negotiations. According to Volk, Ilia is more focused on chasing a fight with Islam Makhachev instead of defending his featherweight title. He urged Ilia to stop wasting time on Makhachev and face him again instead.
They want me to keep defending the belt in the 145 division. Maybe I will do that, but if they let me go up in 155, I will do that also. Really, very glad. I don't want to do it again because I like Volk and I know what's going to happen if we face each other again.
You think it's the same thing?
Yeah, of course it's the same thing. You know, as I always say, I represent the new generation of mixed martial arts. I bring a different type of game that he's not used to. So I know what's going to happen. Maybe the next time, instead of knock him out, I will submit him. So maybe I'm going to change that to have different type of clips.
After this, Volk made it clear that despite Ilia's big words, he is actually avoiding this matchup and wants to move up a weight class instead.
What's the situation at that point?
I mean, like, to be honest, it's they want me to fight. They want me to fight for the belt. I think they're trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? Obviously, we've got a date that we want. You know, they know I want to fight. That's just, you know, if the UFC want it and he's pushing for it and they can make that happen, all right, good on them. But if they can't make it happen, it's not waste time unless they lock our fight in. You know, that's just sort of how it is.
Dana White recently appeared on the Straight Talk podcast, where he made it clear that his priority is to book the Volkanovski versus Topuria rematch. He doubled down on his stance, emphasizing that Volk has always stepped up for the UFC when needed, and now Dana is ready to return the favor, giving Volkanovski whatever he wants. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.